Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Steven Inks. And I do have a very interesting pen to talk about today. A similar video has been posted on this channel before because during my Fake Pen Summer series this last summer, I did look at a knockoff of this pen, but I have the original. It is the Platinum Curidas. Quite an interesting pen. And one that I didn't think I would actually ever buy. But we're going to look at this pen. We're going to talk about why I went ahead and purchased it and how I feel about it as an instrument for drawing. Let's do it. Woohoo! Here it is. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm very excited to open this up. And I gotta notice the box. This is not a photograph. This looks like some sort of a printing of almost like it's a silver colored ink. It's a single tone with gradients on it. It's a little piece of art. It says Platinum Curidas. All right, and very simple packaging. I somehow ended up ordering this pen directly from Japan, which made it cheaper. If someone can tell me in the comments if there's a reason why I shouldn't do that, okay, but I don't see any reason. I don't know what the reason is that it's so much cheaper when you order it directly from there. Something to do with customs, maybe, but I don't know why that is the way it is. But let's open this pen up. Okay. Comparing this to the Platinum 3776 that I own, which is a more expensive pen. This is a nice box. It's not on the level of that 3776, but I don't really expect it to be. All right, but it's made of plastic. Here's some stuff inside. Okay, it comes with Q-tips, so you can clean your ears and listen to that platinum feedback, I guess. No, there's looks like the liquid version of the silicone grease in there. There's some instructions on lubricating maybe the flap inside where that's cleaning. Perhaps the flap inside that closes over the ink sac. I don't know. Oh, okay. It's in English too. I'm dumb. So for putting the silicone oil on the cotton swab, wipe off the ink stain, the inner surface, the inside of the nib pocket. Okay, they call it a nib pocket. That's cute. To keep that flap door opening and closing properly. Just for reference, I'm gonna grab the rip-off pen that I bought last summer, and I should have brought this out before I started filming, so my apologies for that. I just want to point out the difference between the two. The major difference being that this one cracked at the barrel. Yeah, you can definitely see that. And so now it doesn't work very well. It is definitely more than an homage to this pen. I'm hoping at a significant amount more money than this thing costs. This was really cheap. That I'm going to get a better quality instrument. I did like this pen though. I want to point out that I liked the design of this pen. It was fun to use until it broke, and it feels like it's made of kind of cheaper quality plastic, so we'll see what this ends up looking like. Let's move this one out of the way for now. Okay, so I'm just going to check underneath this box really quick before we go inside. Okay, there's an instructions manual. Probably not a lot to do here. It is a very unique pen, so it may end up being, you know, that, oh, okay. They tell you how to remove the clip. That's kind of cool. There's a converter pen, so they show you how to use a converter. And the whole hooking and unhooking the nib unit so that you can actually fill it with ink or do stuff with the nib. So all of that stuff is important. This might be very useful to you, especially if you're not familiar with this type of pen, or if, unlike me, you don't care about just flipping a switch, pushing a button, whatever, to see what it does. All right. Oh, we got a cartridge. That's nice. Knocked my mic over. Okay, we got a cartridge here and the pen. Okay, instantly when I compare this and this feels so much nicer. It just feels like some care was put into it compared to this, which feels like it was thrown together. So, all right, I'm already on it. When you buy a pen in Japan, oftentimes there's a little sleeve on the clip. And I think it includes the price of the pen and some other information about it. I see the words EF right there, so obviously that, and I'm assuming that that is the price. I don't know. It's gone now. All right. Interestingly enough, when I was perusing that that instruction manual, I answered a question I was gonna ask before, which is, what is this thing? And apparently, according to the diagram, this is how you take the clip off if you don't want to have the clip on. Let's see if that works. Is that what you're supposed to do? I should look at the picture. It's literally right in front of me and I'm not doing it. Was it down here? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna learn how to take the clip off of this thing. See, okay, so there's a diagram right here, and apparently you're gonna hold it this way. Oh, okay. So there's a bevel right there on both sides, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna come up underneath the pen right there, and then it should make it so that you can pop the, oh, there we go. Okay, so you can pop the clip off if you don't want to have, there we go. If you don't want to have a clip on your pen. I do want to have a clip on my pen. So I'm just gonna, maybe I shouldn't have done this. I'm gonna try and get that clip back on there. Let's see, is the opposite true? Will this help me guide my clip back in? Maybe. Oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. All right, let me get the clip back on and then I will join you in a few. All right, word of the wise, if you are gonna take the clip off of this pen, make that a one-time thing. Decide if you want to clip right off the bat, because that was really hard to get back on and it was a little bit scary for a while. I thought I was gonna break this pen. Still running, still sturdy, but that little nib was hard to get over again, backwards. So here we go. Opening up the pen, the question is Platinum going to be classy and give me a converter, or are they going to make me buy one? And the answer is they are going to make me buy one. So disappointing, but I came prepared to be disappointed. I'm never disappointed by these converters. As I mentioned in a previous video, these are my favorite converters that any pen company makes. So can it focus? Always a pleasure to have one of these. Just wish they'd given me one to start with. Anyway, this has got a little hook mechanism in the body, and by pushing down and turning, I can release it. This is exactly the way that the Lambitu knockoff pen works. It just feels a lot more solid and sturdy. So I am feeling the price difference, and I think this pen will be around for a bit longer. So same situation, it's a little bit of a hook and lock, and it clicks in, which is nice too. So there we go, and this is the feed. The converter goes inside. Okay, we are locked and ready to roll. Now I can put this here, and I can still access the back of the piston. So up to this point, this is what I would submerge into a bottle of ink in order to get some ink. And there's a little bit of a window here, if you could see, right in the center there. And so that's gonna be good and pretty convenient. And then after that, it's gonna pop in here, lock in and down, and there we go. Let me just point out the way that this piston works. All right, when I click this button right here, locks in. That feels nice compared to the other one. Again, that just feels like it was meant to do that. Let's look at it down from this point right here. Pushing the button in, turtle, and that's what comes out. This is an extra fine, closer to the Lambe 2 nib than the Platinum Preppy. This is definitely not. Let's get a little bit of focus there. This is definitely not the same nib. I got the Platinum logo. It says EF, extra fine. Platinum's extra fines are so extra fine. They blow my mind. Let's fill it with ink. The ink of choice is going to be Platinum Blue Black. Figure we might as well go with Platinum for a Platinum pen. This is an interesting ink. Apparently it's a special edition. I did not know that when I received it, and I suppose it is special because somebody else told me it was special, but it just seems like a blue ink to me. Okay, so let me do this on camera. So the pen itself needs to be unscrewed. This is very different from other pens. Up to this point, that's what you're supposed to get. But then you need to actually unhook the little saddle. I don't know what else to call that. And from here, now I could take it apart further and get this little metal sheath off, but I actually can access the piston from back here. So I'm just going to do it like this. And interesting, the height of the piston, because of how long that section is really, I wonder if that actually is helpful in filling. It definitely doesn't harm it. And a double pump, putting the piston down and up, gave me a nice fill. And it's all dark inside of this ink window. And that tells me that we got ink into everything because we got that dark blue-black ink in there. Let's see what kind of lines it makes. Okay, this is the moment of truth. So far, I really like this pen. I like what it feels like. I like what it looks like. I like doing that and doing that. All these things I like. How does it write? We shall see. Okay, this is the make it or break it moment. Okay, really thin lines. I don't know why that surprises me. It shouldn't, because, Platinum's known for their thin lines. Japanese extra fine, right? This company and Pilot and Sailor, those companies are the reasons why we say that. So if you are someone who's a stickler for details, this is cool. This is good news. This won't tick everyone's boxes. Some people like a thicker line. This pen, for the record, this pen does come in a medium, up to a medium sized nib. So yeah, if you're looking for that, it's out there. That's not going to be as medium as a European medium. That's pretty cool. I'm curious if we get any reverse writing and if that looks any different. Ooh, reverse writing is scratchy, but man, look at that. Actually, it's not that scratchy. Now that I've done it a few times, it's kind of smooth. Okay, look at the difference between these two. You can barely even tell that those are lines, that right there. That's so thin. That's amazing. Okay. I think you can color me impressed. Because this is about as thin as any fine liner you could expect. This is definitely a pen for people who like thin lines and like building layers and textures slowly. This line reminds me again of the Platinum 3776, which is a gold nib pen. So that's quite a comparison. That'd be an interesting thing to put these two pens side by side and see what they come up with. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in doing some brand side by side comparisons at different price points. I now have a collection of pens that's big enough that I could start doing that. And the end result of doing something like that would be that I could buy more pens, which, that's really what I'm in it for. It's not for the likes, the subscribes, it's for the excuses to buy more pens and still have a healthy marriage. So this is interesting thing that I'm feeling about these extra fine lines. They really, and I'm trying to go kind of quick through this because it's kind of the same thing I do every time, but they really slow you down. So if you want to be meditative and you want to be someone who spends a lot of time creating something, maybe give a Japanese extra fine pen a try, because this is gonna take me a while. I think if I was learning some technical drawing, like architectural drawing or drawing diagnostics or schematics, this pen would come in handy. And it's very convenient because of this thing that we've got right there, capless, which is cool. And that's what makes these pens so much fun. All right, so just getting a bit scribbly here. There's the end here. All right, overall very impressive, very cool. It's a specific lane in the fountain pen world. If you're looking for it, if you're looking for extra super fine lines, and look at those reverse writing lines, I'm still not over that. Well, this is doing an excellent job of being that kind of pen. So, art, advice, and then some drawing. Art, advice, art, advice. We when we create, we kind of talk about style a lot, and a lot of younger artists are always talking about, how do I find my style? Here's what I would say about style. I've said a few things about this before, but it is impossible to draw something or write something or create something that is not in your style. It might be not the style you normally do. It might be a copy of someone else's style, but it's still your style of that thing. Style isn't something you have to chase. It's something you embody. It's something that you are. And trying to learn how someone else does something will do nothing to harm your sense of style. It will only increase your ability to create in your style. So go out there and, copy someone else's work, I guess. Don't take credit for it, though, because that's plagiarism, and that's not stylish at all. Anyway, on to drawings. So, the source for this, the inspiration for this art piece is very personal. And I hope you don't mind, but I've been personal on this channel before, and people seem to react very positively to it. So I'll just explain the story. About 3 or 4 months ago, about the beginning of this year, my uncle passed away. And he was someone that I spent a lot of time with when I was young. He took me camping. He taught me how to shoot a gun, and I have never touched one since. But he was an avid hunter, a Marine, um, a fisherman, an outdoorsman, and a handyman. He taught me how to fix things, how to fix my first car, all of these things, and it's been very strange realizing that he's no longer with us. I have not, as I've gotten older, gotten any better at processing loss. I guess I've been very fortunate that a lot of the foundational people in my life are still around. But with my uncle and a few years ago with my grandfather, I really still can't fathom the idea that they're just not here anymore. One of the we had a memorial service for him about 3 weeks ago, and one of the highlights was meeting a guy known as Cousin Jeff. And I did not know that my father and my uncle had a cousin Jeff. Never met this man before. But this guy came into our family for the weekend, stuck around, just telling all these stories and explaining all these things that happened that I'd never heard before. These things about my uncle and about my dad that just no one ever talked about. And one of the things that he said, in addition to all the hilarious, embarrassing stories that I'm sure my uncle would have never wanted me to know, but just made me love him more, Cousin Jeff said, you know, when a good man dies, he takes an entire library with him. And he was referring to many of the people in his life that were no longer with us, but especially of my uncle, all the things that he knew how to do, all the experiences that he had, the love for his family, for his country, for all of those things that he was and represented. Those things go away when someone's gone, and that's a hard thing to think of. So during this time, in the last few weeks especially, I've been really spending some time to just think about that idea of a library being gone because my uncle's no longer in this world. And every time I think about it and I think about him, I'm keeping some of those memories alive, and I'm preserving this library. All the things that he couldn't take with him into the next life. And I'm proud to be a librarian for my beloved uncle. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that reflection on life, and I really enjoyed drawing it for you and talking about it. Take care of yourselves.
Final thoughts on the Platinum Curidas. I'm really glad that I own this pen. I like it. I like using it. It's fun. Been a conversation starter with some of my coworkers and friends, and even some of my students who aren't really pen people. They find it very interesting, and I find it very interesting to use. I would say, though, that the usual US retailer price for this pen is around 80 US dollars, and at that price, I don't think it's worth it. At the price that I paid for it, buying directly from a Japanese supplier at about 50 US dollars, that is more in the range of what I think this pen should be. Is a steel nib, and the steel nib is very similar to something like a Platinum Preppy, which of course is a very inexpensive pen. It does have some style and it's kind of fun to hold and play with and talk about and use, which is what you want in your pens anyway. So for a little more flair, I'd pay a little more money, but not a lot more money. So let me know what you think. Do you own this pen? What do you think of it? How do you think it compares to other pens in Platinum's lineup? I really love my Platinum pens, so this pen is going to have a special place in my collection. Thank you so much for watching, for caring about my ramblings about pens, and I hope to ramble at you some more in a future video. Please subscribe, comment, like, and I'll see you in the next one.
That is fun. Yeah.